Take a nigga bitch to the movie. Whoa. Take a nigga bitch to the movie. Ooh. Take a nigga bitch to the movie. Ooh. Take a nigga bitch to the movie. Ooh.
Kuzu no Honkai, or Scum's Wish, has a very, let's say, interesting story. The whole plot revolves around this Thot, right? And this fuckboy. I can't even remember their names, to be completely honest. Thot, also known as Please Dig Me Down Daddy right now, has a crush on her brother? I mean, it's more of a psychological thing at this point, you know. Technically, they aren't actual siblings, but still, she wants him to fuck her. On the other hand, you have Fuckboy. Fuckboy never grew his balls after the age of 12, so he stayed with this fantasy of fucking his teacher or something, you know, for some reason or another. I don't know. So, you know, they meet in high school and whatever, and have a really rude awakening. You know, Thot's life will never fucking work, you know. And Fuckboy is a lackluster piece of shit who is not interested at all, thus never getting any pussy from the woman he loves. So he goes out with Thot. Dude, I'm not even following. And they have all of these weird adventures, you know, about how they feel about each other, etc. Hence comes Wish, because their love is forbidden or something. I don't know. And you know, they become fuck buddies after that too, without fucking. Not even kidding. So, now that we have all of this information, we can actually get into the actual story. Kuzu no Honkai wants to delve and explore the concept of being in a tragic story in which your love is forbidden. I mean, this show gets a 10 out of 10. For trying. Am I right, guys? Woo! The show tries too fucking hard to propel the idea of Hanabi's love being forbidden. I mean, it could maybe work in the sense of it being, you know, a teacher-student type of relationship, you know? The ethical barrier between them wouldn't be accepted by society, yada 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 yada, you know, that makes sense. That's an actual plausible story. But I mean, this nigga ain't even her brother, my guy. And she doesn't give a shit about this nigga being her fucking teacher. So what is it? Nothing. There's nothing that shows that their love is forbidden. Where is the Scum's wish? Where? Is it in this hoe's vagina, cave? In this nigga's personality? Because he's hollow, you know? He's not interesting at all. In this nigga's density? He's dense as shit, you know? Because honestly, I mean, he doesn't know when a bitch is throwing pussy at him. Like, come on, my guy, we're better than this. We're grown-ups. I mean, honestly, I don't know why people watch this anime and actually liked it, you know? I feel like people watch this show because they think it's mature, I guess, you know? They're probably like, oh my god, they're making out! Oh my god, they're about to have sex! I've never seen that in anime! Oh my god, they are having sex! What the fuck? That shit doesn't make it mature, dude. What's so mature about these two hoes scissoring? I saw that shit every day on Pornhub when I was 15 years old. Oh shit. Actually, is this show porn for fucking weebs? Maybe a bunch of teens are watching this while, flicking the bean, you know? Ooh, the old 1-2 combo, am I right, guys? In all seriousness, though, the aspects that are supposed to highlight the show are not effective in the most minimalistic way. The show attempts to create an atmosphere of vulnerability, which cannot be created if the story is not set up in the right way. The characters have too little exposition, and the building block of said characters is too vague and lackluster to actually build any feeling within the viewers. Unless the viewer is a weeb. You know, who knows? Nothing about relationships. The characters claim to be at risk of losing something. I don't know what, but they think they are. But, you know, they just think, you know, they claim to be at risk. They're not actually at risk. There's not enough build up to even attach the viewer to any feelings with said character. So in that aspect, it fails pretty hard. This anime tries to show you there's something important at risk, when in reality, there's nothing. Nothing. You have characters like Hanabi saying that she will lose the friendship with Kanai and Mugi if she honestly expresses her feelings, although she knows she can always fall back to Sanae's fine ass if things go wrong. If you have a pillow like that, the feeling of risk is completely shattered. Mugi feels for some reason that if he expresses his feelings honestly to Akane that... I don't know actually, why didn't he tell her how he felt? Something about changing her way of liking people or some shit, I don't know. The characters are just straight up shit. You cannot feel anything for them. They are some of the most one-dimensional characters I have ever seen in anime before. This chick is a self-centered thought. This chick is also a self-centered thought, except she's hot and a lesbian. We know nothing about this nigga, except that he likes the hot lesbian self-centered thought. This guy is dense as fuck. This guy has literally no personality whatsoever, apart from being a fuckboy and a bitch boy. And this guy is a fuckboy. The only people who have some sort of plausible characterization are Akane and Noriko. You're not supposed to like these characters. Akane is the biggest thought of them all, but her decisions to be a thought are plausible. What? She's an actually interesting character. This is the first time I've ever felt sympathetic towards a fucking whore. She decides to be with men only for sex because she understands the feeling of love is nothing but a temporary drug. In her mind, having attention and being wanted is what true power and pleasure are. However, upon finding someone else that looks further away from that silver lining, she decides that there is much more to men than just sex and attention. That shit is good, my nigga. In contrast, Noriko decides to wait for the perfect situation of love, for the perfect romance. But upon understanding that love is nothing but a gimmick, she decides to pursue the route of getting what she wanted and achieving it, burying the idea of love upon grasping her goal. Why didn't they write the story around these characters? It would have had a better score, I can tell you that. Kuzu no Honkai was animated by one of the more underrated anime studios out there. Not sure why they don't get that much publicity, but it is Studio Lurch or Larchy or I don't know. These guys are known to animate some of the more recently popular shows like Assassination Classroom, Rampo Kitan, Gakogurashi, Monster Musume, and Danganronpa. Wait a minute. All of these shows are shit! Something I guess a lot of people pointed out was the paneling style of some of the scenes. I guess I liked this a lot, mainly because it did actually create an ambience of not only reading a manga, but witnessing a love story in a book. I'm not a cinematography enthusiast or anything, but I can say that sometimes you can really see how far away characters are feeling to one another because of the paneling portrayed in the scenes. There are also many instances in which characters are supposed to feel powerful and are put on the panel on top and vice versa. I found it enjoyable most of the time. However, sometimes it felt like they were doing this just because it looked good, not for an actual good aesthetical reason. It felt actually forced at times, and not so pleasing to the eyes. Well, the music is alright, I guess. The opening is nice. I don't know if that really counts for the music though. But you might just think it's generic anime romance music, but you, yes, you, can also have your happy fluffy sounds, your sad depressing ambience music, which you rely on a lot because you can't tell a fucking story, and your generic comedy tracks for the low price of $19.99. Just copy and paste, and it's easy as that. But what? There's more? If you order in the next 10 minutes, you can get a unique song for your Kuk Oni-chan for free. Yes, you heard it right here, right now. Order in the next 10 minutes, and you will be able to get a song for your Kuk Oni-chan for all of his cuck moments and shit. Who is obviously not your brother, because that would be weird. Because you only consider him your brother. You know, that changes everything, you know, it does, you know. It's a psychological thing, not in the blood, so it's okay. Not in the DNA. It pains me to say the least that I have to bash a show like this. More than it pained me to watch this whole fucking shit, let me tell you that. On a serious note, this show is honestly not as bad as I made it out to be. Joking, it's fucking terrible. Something that makes me sad when watching such a highly composed show is that this money could have gone to something better. Maybe a decent adaptation of Clank Cirque, maybe a second season of Beck, a second season of Roka no Yusha maybe? Or maybe something that is at least more thought-provoking than this. After all of this rambling, I am rewarding Kuzu no Honkai with a 4 out of 10, with a recommendation of, you can watch it, but I wouldn't. At least not again.